Chapter 4 Strength and Inclusion. An interesting puzzle is taking shape, but even now it should be obvious that there are several missing pieces. Let us see if we can fill in some of the holes in the story by traveling back in time 9 years and looking at some events we have already seen, but from a different perspective. Zara's perspective. On our first holiday, we took a tour of the city so me and Zalin could get used to our new home. Zalin and new Dad started talking about Protestant history and culture and other boring stuff I didn't care about. I was so awed by everything I saw that, at some point, I wandered too far away from everyone else and got lost. Then, I heard someone nearby say, "Is that moss on your head, or is that supposed to be hair?" I turned around and saw a boy in a white tunic. "Huh?" I said. "Are you talking to me?" "Who else would I be talking to?" he said. "I don't see any other freaks around here." "I'm not a freak," I said, upset. I couldn't understand why he was being so mean to me, so I did what any 6-year-old girl would do. I started to cry. Zalin ran up and fought the boy, and seeing him get hurt just upset me even more. Then new Mom and Dad showed up, took us home, and I finally had a chance to calm down. New Mom asked me to tell her everything while new Dad stood and watched in the silence. When I told new Mom what happened, she said, "And that's all? All he did was say something that upset you?" "Well, yeah, I guess," I said. "Zara," new Mom said more seriously than consolingly, "can words cut your flesh?" "Huh?" I said, confused. "Answer my question," new Mom said very seriously. "Can words cut your flesh?" "Well, I guess not," I said. "Then they can't hurt you," new Mom said. "They only hurt you if you let them hurt you. I know it is hard to accept, but in the real world, not everyone is going to be nice to you. Some people will even want to hurt you. It's not your fault, but you have to learn to accept it and how to deal with it if you ever want to be able to move on and be happy. When someone says something mean to you, they're trying to upset you. If you get upset, you're giving them what they want. Does that make sense?" "I guess," I said. "So, Zalin got hurt because I'm such a wimpy baby. Maybe he and Viteria were right when they told me I can't handle big kid stuff." I went to Zalin and told him how sorry I was for what I put him through. Then, much to my surprise, that boy from before showed up and apologized for what he had done, and I eagerly forgave him. I just wanted all of us to be happy. I didn't want any more bad feelings between us. Even though things started out so badly, I made 2 new friends that day, Artis and Katrina. A few days later, Zalin went off to play with Artis, leaving me out of his games as usual. Then, Katrina came up to me and asked me if I wanted to play with her. "Really?" I said excitedly. "It doesn't embarrass you hanging out with a little girl like me?" "Of course not," Katrina said. "I'm always happy to make new friends." "Oh, yay!" I said joyfully. I was so happy that I ran up to Katrina and hugged her. "Whoa, easy now," Katrina said. "Hee, sorry," I said. "It's just that I'm a little younger than all the other kids in my family, and they all think they're too cool to hang out with me. Whenever I try to hang out with them, they'd always say things like, 'Big kids only,' and 'You're too little to do what we're doing.'" "Zara, I'm so sorry," Katrina said. "Hey, don't worry about it," I said. "It's okay now because I have you to play with me, Katrina." "I'm glad for that," Katrina said. "But please, you can call me Kitty." "Why?" I asked. "Isn't your name Katrina?" "Katrina is my formal name, and Kitty is my familiar name," Kitty said. "All Weltkinder have a formal name that is just for strangers and acquaintances, and a familiar name that is for friends and family." So I hung out with my new friend. We played a game that was kind of like hopscotch, where we tried to get from one side of the street to the other just by jumping from stone to stone in the road. I got tripped up and almost fell, so when I got to the other side, I turned around and said, "Stupid rock!" and blew a raspberry at it. You really are an odd girl, Kitty said. But that's a good thing. I like it. Thanks, I said. I know it might look like I'm happy on the outside and sad on the inside, but I think it's more like the other way around. All I really want is to just hang out and have fun with my friends. The only thing that really makes me sad is when they won't let me do that. After that day, Katty became my best friend. We'd often hang out together, and sometimes even with Zolan and Artis too. I was finally getting to hang out with the big kids, but we didn't really do anything that spectacular. Finally, one day, something happened that I thought could be my big break. A family was paying us to squash some bugs that had infested their home. Finally, I thought, this was my chance to prove that I am strong. This was my chance to prove that I can handle big kid stuff. And it started out as a disaster. I couldn't handle it and had to run away from our fight with the bugs. Even though the others weren't really having any trouble, they ran out to help me. Once again, my weakness messed everything up for everyone else. This was my chance to prove I was strong, and I blew it. I hated feeling like I was just a burden to my friends. I wished I could be strong so I could be part of the team, not just a chain weighing them down. I was so upset that I hit the ground in frustration. Then, I noticed that I had made a pretty nasty dent in the ground where my hand hit. There was no way I could have done that with sheer force. It had to be magic. I didn't know how I was able to use magic without any training, but I didn't care. Finally, I had found my strength. Finally, I could help my friends just as much as they helped me. We charged back into the house and finished the job. With my magic, we made easy work of the bugs. After the job was over, the four of us just sat down outside to rest and recover. While the others were trying to catch their breath, I beamed with joy. That was awesome, I said between breaths. There's nothing like getting to go on fun adventures with my friends. If only every day could be just like this one. I love you guys. I spread my arms wide so I could hug everyone at once. And then it happened. That's right. Zolan and Katty fell in love with each other. At that point, all they wanted to do was spend time with each other, leaving me and Artis out. I was so bored. Even though we hung out together through our mutual friends, me and Artis weren't exactly two of a kind. More like exact opposites, actually. He always seemed so down and depressed, and he wasn't very much fun. Still, I was so bored I couldn't help myself. One day, I just walked up to him and said, "Hey, let's hang out." Let's not," he replied. It's not like I was expecting any other response. "Look," I said, "I'm bored as heck. I don't like this either, but we're both just gonna have to live with it. So, is there anything you want to do?" "How about nothing?" Artis said. Typical Artis, the killjoy. I really wondered what Zolan and Katty saw in him. I folded my arms, made an exaggerated frown, and said, "Ooh, look at me! I'm Artis! Brutity-brutity-brew!" And then, something I never would have expected happened. Artis did a kind of cartwheel and said, "Hey, look at me! I'm Zara! I'm hyperactive and probably high on sugar!" When he finished his cartwheel, he ended up right in front of my face, just staring at me. After a moment of silence, we both burst out laughing together. "You know," I said, "maybe you are kinda cool after all." After a while, Zolan and Katty stopped being as obsessed with each other and were more willing to hang out with me and Artis again. I think there might actually have even been some trouble between them, but I don't really know. It might not have even been anything that serious. I've heard all the love stories. There's always some trouble in paradise at some point, even between the closest lovers, but they always get back together in the end. The four of us all still hung out together in any case, and even made a living off of our adventures. Then one day, our first real adventure began. It all started when me and Zolan heard this voice in our heads talking to us. It told us about some really important mission, and said we needed to go to it. We didn't know who or what was talking to us, or even where they were, but after hearing the voice, we both could feel a pull, like there was something out there somewhere, and we had to go to it. I guess it's a lot like the things birds feel that makes them migrate. So me, Zullen, and Ketty set out following the call. Artis didn't come along. It was a shame, too. I was just starting to like him. Early on in our quest, we came to a city that was having a problem with bandits and a governor taxing the crap out of everyone. We helped them out with their problems and even had to do a little fighting. I was able to hold my own in our battles, and my magic played no small part in helping us win. I was very happy. I was so glad knowing I could finally help out and really be a part of the team. But little did any of us know, we'd soon be facing an obstacle that would really test the strength of all of us.